Good morning and welcome to the online devotion from Mount Gilead Church. My name is Mike Bridgewater, and today I have a good friend, special friend, Jack Heaston with me. So
it's good to be here, Mike. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, thanks for coming on. I'm about 26 weeks into this study on parables.
It's been great. It's been great.
It has been. It's been a learning experience for sure. And today we're going to look at a couple sayings that are probably pretty familiar to most people, and
The saying, at least.
And, but in digging into this the last couple days and looking at it, it's like, wow, there's some breadth and depth to these couple statements. So just a little bit of background. It's real early in the book of Matthew. Jesus is still in the process of identifying all his disciples. He's got huge crowds following him. He's doing healings. There's people from all over coming around. And then in Matthew chapter 5, what happens there at the beginning of Matthew chapter 5?
Boy, he starts this Sermon on the Mount with these Beatitudes, and he talks about things that probably blew people's minds, and it was done with authority. It was new, it was different, it was just a phenomenal beginning to his teaching ministry in Matthew.
Yeah, and then we're going to look at a couple sayings in Matthew 5, starting in verse 13, just 13 through 16. And there's a couple "you are" statements there.
Yeah. We are, I believe, prone to deception, our hearts.
Yeah.
We will deceive people, we will lie, we will do just about anything to look good, to be first, to win and not to lose. And our feet are prone to wander.
Yeah.
And so with those two problems, Jesus kind of gives us some truth and answers our problem with these two statements. He is going to do something miraculous to the disciple, to the Christian. He is going to make us light, and he's going to make us salt.
Salt and light.
Salt and light.
And the salt sayings, people are familiar with, that guy's worth his salt or he's not worth his salt. But Jesus says in Matthew 5:13 says, you are the salt of the earth. But then he says, but what good is salt if it's lost its flavor? Can you make it salty again? It will be thrown out and trampled as worthless. So there's a lot of properties of salt, characteristics of salt. One of them is it preserves things. It's a preservative. It affects things that it comes in contact with as well. And it's also valuable.
Yes, especially in the first century.
Yeah.
It is today as well, I believe. But
yeah, back in the day, salt was used for money.
yes,
it's where we get the word salary from. People get their salaries.
Got to go work in the salt mine.
But talk to us about what he says there about if it's lost its saltiness.
Well, I think what is important to me about this is the word influence. If we are going to be salt, then Jesus wants us to influence people, the world, influence them for him.
Yeah.
And if we are salt does that because whatever salt comes into contact with, it either will change its flavor and make it better, or if you put too much on it, it can ruin the food, but it will influence the food, whatever it touches, unless it loses its saltiness.
Yeah, unless it gets corrupted.
If it gets corrupted. So if the salt gets corrupted and loses saltiness, then it fails to influence what you're trying to use it for, and it's of no worth.
Right.
So it would be cast out.
Right.
So when you lose your influence, you may need to think about that for just a moment. Tie those two pieces together. But salt gives taste to whatever it touches, and I believe that without Jesus, then life is stale and it's dull, and it just does not have the flavor, doesn't have the excitement, doesn't have anything that we want it to have. And people that are in darkness may not want to have salt brought in their life. I mean, you can't force the salt shaker over their food, right?
Right.
But we need to be salt, don't you think? And as we are salt, because that's what it says you are the salt of the earth.
Right.
He made us salt. So if we are going to be the salt of the earth, then we just have to get into the presence of people and Jesus Christ should be felt and seen through our saltiness.
Right.
So don't lose your saltiness, or then you'll fail to influence. You won't be felt, and you won't be of worth.
Yeah, you'll be worthless.
Worthless.
And you don't want to be worthless. And then he makes this other fantastic statement, and it reminds you of at the end of his ministry where he says, I am the light of the world. But here at the beginning of his ministry, he says, you are the light of the world. Like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. No one lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your good deeds shine out for all to see, so that everyone will praise your heavenly Father. And there is another, the
praise of the Heavenly Father.
Praise of the Heavenly Father, because in just a little bit later on in chapter 6, it talks about, don't be out there doing things to be seen. You'll get your reward then, but your good deeds, your Heavenly Father sees them.
Yeah, if you're doing good works for you just to be seen or to be thought of as special or good, then that's not it at all.
That's not good, yeah.
We're to let our light shine. We should shine, and we are saved. We are transformed by Jesus Christ. He makes us light. He gives us His light.
Right.
We aren't automatically that kind of light that is a transforming light, that what Jesus Christ is. And I think that as we are light, then there are three things that we need to do. And I came up, I saw this.
You're going to get your reward right now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said I didn't come up, but I saw it. I'd never seen it before. I'm stupid, okay, all these years. And I'd never seen this, but I thought, what does light do? Well, one thing it does is it brings you in out of darkness, right? And it illuminates and lets you see something. This is a silly illustration, but this morning, as my wife was getting ready to go to work, and she had to do the hair thing, and so she had an attachment that she was trying to put on the hair dryer.
Uh-huh.
And she was in the bedroom, which was no light was in there, very little light shining out of the bathroom. I was in fixing my hair. It takes me a while to do that. So I was in fixing my hair, and she came and said, I can't get the attachment on. And I looked at the attachment, looked at the hair dryer, and I said, this attachment doesn't go to this hair dryer. You have to screw it in, and it doesn't have threads. And that must be an old attachment. Throw it away.
Yeah.
So it had lost its saltiness. It didn't have purpose anymore. So we threw that one away and got the one that fit the hair dryer. But it took the light to see, to illuminate, so that you can see what you're what you're doing. And that's so very important. So we need to shine. We need to shine so that people can see.
Right.
Jesus Christ in us, and certainly in the things we do, and certainly through the things that we say. But I think that we shine first, and then as that light is shown in people's lives, then we can follow it up at the right time with saying what we need to say, as being a witness, saying witness. But what does it do? What do we talk about? We are to shine
naturally.
Naturally. What does that mean to you?
To shine naturally is to boy, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
You got to be Christ in us. You have to be a reflection of the true light.
The more time you spend with Him, the more you grow in Him, the more you turn yourself over to Him, the more the light of Christ naturally shines from within. What was the second one? Openly. We're to openly share. So it's not just for us. It's not like Jesus came down and said, hey, Mike, you and Jack are really special. We're going to give you light and salt and make you really cool. But it's just for you.
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody. It's openly let your light shine. And what was the third one?
The third one was to be willing.
Willingly. Okay. All right, everyone, put it together. What is naturally, openly, willingly? It's an acrostic.
Now.
Shine now.
Shine now.
Shine now. Okay, I got my reward. I'm done.
So you are the light. You are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. One of the verses that you've talked about quite often is that verse out of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, which I think is just it's one of those verses where you just can't wrap your head around it all the time, and it's Can you share that with us, Jack?
I
And
can-
we'll
I
just
can.
close up with that verse.
Yeah, talking about light, it says in 2 Corinthians 4, the God who said, let light shine out of darkness, has made his light shine in your heart. And this light is to the praise of God, and it is in the face of Jesus Christ. So as Christ comes within us, his light comes in us and illuminates us and gives us power beyond belief, beyond comprehension. I can't even comprehend it because I can't comprehend the power that it took for God to say, let there be light, and there was light.
Right.
That power, that same God who said that, has said, Mike, let my light shine in you. That's just beyond almost comprehension that he said that. But how did he do that? He did it in Jesus. Through the face of Jesus Christ, that we have this light. So folks, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine now.
Let it shine now. Hey, thanks for joining us today. This week, Justin's going to be bringing a message about one of the really great stories out of the book of Judges. That's such an encouraging book where all the people are having such a good time.
Where God was calling judges to judge them.
To judge them.
Yeah.
But he's going to bring a message about Gideon. And so I'm looking
Great.
forward to that. So if you're able to join us here at the building, 9 o'clock or 10:30, or you can always join us online on either Facebook or YouTube or Church Online. So thanks for joining us, and I'll see you again next week.
See you Sunday.
Bye-bye.